Welcome to VI Sports, a show that takes you beyond the scoreboard, bringing you stories from across the Vancouver Island sports scene. I'm Kevin Charach, hosting on location here at McKinnon Gym. We're checking out some indoor field hockey. Now, if you're thinking field hockey is normally played outdoors, you'd be right. We're going to investigate what this version of the sport is all about. Plus, we're going to meet some of the members of the UVIC's women's field hockey team. All that and more. But first, let's check out the stories on this edition of VI Sports. Get a pass on the bow tie then? Fashion tips and baseball talk with Blue Jays analyst Gregg Zaun.
Redfield puts it on goal. Brasso scores on the rebound.
Kait Burgan steps inside the gondola with award-winning BCHL play-by-play man Dan Marshall. We look at the surging sport of girls volleyball here on the island. And Ken Hurricane Himes joins a few friends for a friendly match of Footgolf. All right, we're hanging out with some of the members of the UVIC's women's field hockey team. This is Emily.
Hello.
And Kristina. Okay, so can you break down the sport for me? I've never actually even heard of indoor field hockey. Emily, can you give me the basics?
Yeah, so it's just 5-on-5 with the keeper, and we have like 4-inch tall boards running down the sides and no end board, and they're 20-minute long halves.
You can only use one side of the stick, and the ball has to stay on the ground. You can't flick it up into the air unless you're shooting on net. So that's definitely a big factor in the game.
That's going to be tricky. Can you talk to me a little bit about the fashion? Because we got the knee highs, we got the short shorts, we got the basketball jersey, we got the Michael Jackson inspired white glove. Can you just talk to me a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, definitely the shin pads are for protection because the ball travels so fast and indoor it's crazy. And the glove is just to protect your hand because you're always on the ground and your stick's really low, so you don't want to hurt your hand when you're making those tackles.
Okay, so you're going to teach me some skills throughout the show?
We'll try it.
Okay, thanks so much. And we're going to get to our first story. You know, it's 2016 now, but the biggest sports story for me in 2015 at least was the Toronto Blue Jays, the re-emergence of the Toronto Blue Jays. They made this magnificent run. The entire nation was so into it, me included, and I recently caught up with the very colorful Blue Jays analyst, Gregg Zaun. Check it out.
Teammate and really thriving out. Take him out to lunch or take him out for a beer after the game.
I don't imagine there's a whole lot that impacts Marcus Stroman in a negative way.
Well, you don't normally see me in this attire, but I was inspired by the man to my right, Gregg Zaun, 16 years in the pros. Now he's the baseball analyst for the Toronto Blue Jays. You like your fashion, don't you?
I do. I take it very seriously, and it serves me well. People get excited to see what I'm going to wear, even if they don't always like what's coming out of my mouth. They enjoy the attire.
So do I get a pass on the bow tie then?
Amazing. And then the shirt with the bow tie, absolutely perfect.
Endorsement.
Tremendous work. Right?
Thank you. So I can talk fashion with you all day, but let's talk about the Blue Jays.
That's driven in the air, forget it.
Obviously, this run this year, baseball took over sports in Canada throughout the month of October for the first time in a very, very long time. From a broadcaster's perspective, you were on the inside. What was the energy like for you in that environment?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, if you use the request for Jamie Campbell and me, use that as a barometer. I mean, it tripled. The viewership at one point during the postseason reached 13.5 million for one game. There's only 38 million people in the whole country, so the entire nation had Blue Jays fever. Every game was sold out. In fact, I think the last 22 games of the regular season were sold out. Everywhere you went in the city, and outside the city, people had their Blue Jays gear on, and it was even hard for me to get tickets.
And it wasn't only in Toronto; it was across Canada. A lot of people watching, a lot of young people watching. What type of impact do you think a successful Blue Jays team could have on perhaps the next generation of ball players here in Canada?
You can always see the ripple effect of a team on a championship run or a specific player. For me in Southern California, growing up in LA, my junior year in high school, we got a great one. He comes to the LA Kings, all of a sudden, almost 18 years, 22 years, whatever, to the day, you start seeing first-round draft picks in the NHL draft that are from Southern California. You will see a ripple effect, say, 18, 19 years from now. there will be more and more baseball players from the country of Canada because of this run. And if it continues, the number is going to grow exponentially because we emulate what we see from our heroes, and with Rogers' coverage of every single every single home game, road game during the regular season, and then on into the postseason. As long as they continue to put good quality product on the field, and these guys are, a viable product in late September, early October, you're going to see a lot of people going down to the local sporting goods store and buying gloves and bats.
Now I know you like to keep it pretty old school. You're not into the theatrics of baseball, really. The bat flip you weren't a huge fan of, so I'll just give you a handshake. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Special thanks to Rogers Sportsnet for lending us that footage. And yes, they may have lost David Price, but I still think with their offense, the Jays will be a contender for years to come. Okay, so what are we going to learn first? Are you going to teach me the wrist shot, or whatever you call it in field hockey?
Kristina here is going to demonstrate a deceptive drag flick for you guys. So the basics, she's going to start with the ball on the mid part of her shaft. And as she steps through, the ball is going to move down to the tip of our stick where she'll whip it off. And she's going to generate most of her power through her legs.
So this in ice hockey would be kind of like the wrist shot, would you say?
A similar idea.
Okay.
The ball is generally coming off the ground, yes.
And it's called a drag flick.
Yes.
Yes, this is the drag flick.
This is a deceptive drag flick.
Deceptive drag flick.
The only
okay.
difference in a deceptive drag flick and a drag flick is that she would just start with the ball on the tip of her stick instead of moving it down.
Gotcha. All right, let's see it. Okay. Okay, I got to give it a shot. So start right here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. I'm normally a lefty in ice hockey, so.
That was pretty good.
I think I'm a pro. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to learn more about the drag flick, maybe some more flicks after the break. Up top, come on, that's pretty nice.
The BCHL's Nanaimo Clippers added some more firepower, acquiring top 10 scorer Gavin Gould. There's saltwater in his veins. Oak Bay's Reese Myerscough is BC Sailing's Outstanding Youth of the Year. In football, the VI Raiders bring back a champion. Doug Hawking returns to Nanaimo as the team's defensive coordinator. And attention young athletes, the BC Games and the Coast Capital are offering a bursary program. Apply now at bcgames.org. You're watching VI Sports on Shaw TV.
Welcome back, learning a little bit about indoor field hockey with Emily and Kristina of the Vikes women's field hockey team. And did you know field hockey is the world's third most popular sport with an estimated 2 billion fans? It's gaining a little bit of traction here in BC as well, but do you know which sport owns the title of fastest growing girls sport in BC? Our own Ruth Harris has the answer from up north.
My favorite thing about volleyball is definitely my team because I get to make so many new friends and I love the competitive aspect and everything about it, and I get to build so many more skills and it's just so amazing.
Volleyball is amazing, and in British Columbia, the Girls Volleyball Commission is the largest in high school today. At the Senior Girls Volleyball Island Championship, I found Doug Skinner, who's been coaching for over 40 years.
It exploded just after 1998. I'd go to provincial championships in the 70s and the 80s, and there might be 11 or 12, maybe 13 teams in the provincial championship. After 1998, all of a sudden there were 50 teams, 60 teams, 70 teams in the provincial championship for under 14s, under 16s. We had 3 divisions. Now we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And we can get as many as 64 to 70 teams competing in provincials. We have to go 5 divisions now.
At the recent Comox Valley Volleyball Club registration, it was standing room only.
In my last 5 years of involvement with the club, we have certainly seen a growth from our junior program, and that's carrying right through up to our senior levels of the 18U teams. And we're seeing this growth not just in the schools, but that's carrying over to the club and then also into the beach, which begins around May and carries through the summer.
The biggest part about it is all our grassroots kids, and so then you get all these coaches that now have played already and they're coming back, and so we start seeing that grassroots coming through. It's very well organized too, with both the high school system, the club system, and then there's also the provincial team programs, and and then the inputting it into a lot of the games, like the BC Summer Games, the Canada Games, the Western Canada Games. So all that excitement just keeps it going, right?
I feel really good when I'm on the court because it's just a lot of fun, and I'm with my friends, and it's an active experience, and it's just a fun time.
Whether it's school, club, or beach, coaches feel it is the ultimate team sport.
It was a sport that we coached because there were so many life skills involved, with the communication, with the fact that teamwork was so important, that you're in that together.
When our coaches coach, it's definitely very clear that they most value teamwork and attitude and working together, and just if you're being a single player out there, then you're going to most likely be sitting on the bench.
When we talk about 21st century learning, cooperation, teamwork, these are collaboration, communication, these are all massive life changers, and these are all future predictors for success. So you start seeing kids that can work in a team, they start being able to do stuff for a group mindset where we're working for common goals.
I just love the teamwork and how it takes everyone on the team to really make a difference in the play. In order to score a point, you have to use everyone, and it can't just be all about getting it to one person, because it becomes predictable.
We're always trying to improve the sport, like today where we have an Island Championship. We've got 8 coaches, we had a coaches meeting, talked about things like, hey, how do you guys think things are going? What can we do better for next year? Well, the whole sport benefits, right?
We like how fast it can get. So, and the continuous play, like of a rally, and if we have 10, 12 hits that are coming over the net back and forth and being dug and being hit back again, to me, there's nothing more exciting.
It took 5 games, but Isfeld Secondary Senior Girls won the Island Championship. For VI Sports, I'm Mary Ruth Harris.
If you're interested in getting involved in the sport, whether it be school, club, or beach volleyball, check out the website volleyballbc.org. Okay, now, Emily, Kristina, our next story is about a play-by-play guy. Have you ever done any play-by-play before for field hockey or for any sport?
No, never.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you on the spot. Emily, let's get you to do a play on the net there. And Kristina, we'll get you to do some play-by-play. All right, this is going to be awesome. Here you go.
Ready? Yeah. Okay, Emily dribbles up to the net, does a reverse to the right, gets it in her hook, and keeps going, and does a reverse ripper, and scores.
Yes. Well done. All right, this next story is by Kait Burgan from Nanaimo on Dan Marshall, the voice of the Nanaimo Clippers. Good job. That was good. That was good.
Renwick, nice pass. In walks Denaro left side, getting in close. His shot scores! Chris Denaro, 9th of the year, a power play goal. It's 2-0.
We're here at Frank Crane Arena, and it's safe to say that almost everybody, almost all Canadians, have at one time had the arena hockey experience during a hockey game. But how many can say that they've been in the gondola during a broadcast? Today we're checking in with Dan Marshall. He does the Clippers broadcast on the Wolf radio station, and he's won the best BCHL broadcaster of the year, not once, but twice. Let's check in with Dan.
Knocked down was Jermaine, walking in is Caldas with a shot, scores! Yanni Caldas put it through Colton Lancaster.
Dan, it looks like there's a lot going on. What's happening?
We're getting ready for a game, Kate. Come on in, put on a headset.
Okay. Thank you. You've got a couple of different scripts here. What's
What do you use this for? What is this information telling you?
This is the paper chamber, if you will, to get ready for a hockey game. Starting on my left, you got to have all the sponsor information.
That's very
Sponsors are the lifeblood of any radio broadcast, so I have all the sponsor information, and when I talk about which sponsor and how the intermissions all work, so that's the nuts and bolts. Then I've got all the hockey information right in front of me, so all the stats, all the names of the players on both sides, of course.
And how much of that do you have to refer to the script for, and how much of it is already in your head?
Well, you hope it's mostly in your head because hockey moves so fast that by the time you look down, you probably miss something.
Couldn't take the puck away from Gavin Gould to the Clipper line. Hookerson belted him down.
So you spend a lot of time. So say a game's about 2.5 to 3 hours. So usually you can say that's your prep time to get ready for any game. About the same, about 2.5 to 3 hours, writing notes, finding stats, looking for storylines in a given hockey game. And you try and get as much of that down on the page as you can, but the game really tells its own story. And that leads to my scribbling sheet, where you follow the goals and the assists and you track who scored when and what the power play situations are. So, and you write down little notes. I have, a lot of guys do it on the computer, but I have a pen that I use. I love the pen and paper. I love the feel of it.
A little, literally, scribble sheet.
I do have an iPad for online stats that I use, but some people love to use their laptops and their computers, but I like to be able to write things down and really get a feel for it that way and remember things to reference back from the third period to the first period. So there's a lot of paper that I spend in every game to get ready, and it's all laid out very specifically, and it's all laid out the same way every game. You try and have it just by a rote so that you walk in and every game you have the exact same preparation done.
Brasso's got two guys on him, but he got it loose for Yanni Caldas in close, trying to jam play. Then a shot by Brasso, scores! Devin Brasso, lucky number 13 on the year.
Now, you've been doing this for 15 years.
2000, first year, yeah, it's been a long time.
Do you still get nervous?
Every single time.
What are you worried about? What are you scared of screwing up? How can you screw up?
You always worry that you're gonna mess up a really good goal, somebody's first goal, or a really nice play. You called the wrong guy, which happens from time to time, or you miss something that you don't see because you're watching behind the play. You always worry that you're not going to give the proper description because you're the eyes and ears. When I'm in the booth, I'm the eyes and ears of Clipper fans everywhere, and you worry every time that you're not going to quite do it right, and you always hope for the perfect broadcast, but they're pretty rare.
And you're trying to paint a picture. You're trying to be, as you say, the eyes. You're trying to help them be here visually.
That's the idea. Of course, in television, we have pictures, and in radio, we don't have pictures. So when you're doing the radio broadcast, you're trying to paint the picture and get people to understand exactly what's happening through your words, and it's a tough art form.
Mitch LaPont takes it right side over the Nanaimo line with Zorn. Wrist shot, scored! LaPont from long distance fooled Evan Johnson, who's looking confused about that one that went over his glove and in.
You live and breathe this team and this game. You're a part of the team, really.
Since I've been here, there's been a couple of different coaches, Bill Bestwick and Mike Vandekamp, and you don't have that trust level with the staff and the coaches overnight, but you gain that over the years, and had a great relationship with Bill Bestwick, and I think have a very strong relationship with Mike Vandekamp, and so you get to hear some of the inside stuff when you're that guy, and there's a lot of stuff that you can't.
I was going to say, does all that
you
spill
can't
out
talk
onto
about,
the radio?
but there's so many neat things that you do get to talk about from being around the guys in the hotel. At the same time, you're a professional and trying to call the game as it happens, but you do get to know the boys and you get very emotionally attached.
And I can tell that you love it.
Ripple at the blue line, cutting right, stick handling, great move, walks in, Ripple puts it on goal, Brasso scores on the rebound. Devin Brasso has two, and it's 4-1.
Thanks, Kate. And Dan has definitely had a lot of goal calls this season as Nanaimo ranks among the BCHL's leaders in goals for. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to learn how to stick handle. Like this.
On February 20th, check out high-level rugby action at West Hills Stadium as Canada takes on Brazil. February 27th to the 28th, hometown hockey brings festivities for the whole family to the city of Victoria. From March 3rd to the 6th, check out some of the best young divers in the world at the Sting International Diving Meet at Commonwealth Pool. And from March 4th to the 6th, grab a seat for the University Rugby Sevens Nationals at West Hills Stadium. You're watching VI Sports on Shaw TV.
Okay. Now, are there any fancy moves that you can do in this sport? Like any dangles is what they would call them in ice hockey?
Yeah, Kristina can show you, we call it a hook curl. So here it goes.
Slick. Okay, so you would do that to kind of just like deke past someone? I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, or if you're in a super tight position, you can curl around like that and hit it into their feet. Because if you hit the other team's feet, they automatically have to back it up and give you 5 yards.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna try a hook curl, okay? So kind of like that.
The main thing is you want to drop your stick.
Oh,
The
okay,
flatter
okay.
it is, the easier it is.
Okay, round 2. That? I don't think my posture is proper.
You gotta drop your butt.
Okay, you gotta.
Get it in your foot.
Okay, round 3. Hook curl?
Okay.
Okay, well, this next story is gonna show you what happens when we combine golf and soccer. I'm gonna work on my stick curl. Hook curl, that's it.
Hello, sports fans. It's Ken Hurricane Himes, a sports guy that's not shy, and we're here today at the Cedar Hill Municipal Golf Course, and I'm with the head pro, Craig Renscher. Hello, Craig. Welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about Footgolf, a new sport for Vancouver Island.
Well, first off, Hurricane, thanks for coming down to the golf course. The sport of foot golf is very similar to regular golf. The only change to it basically is you're kicking a soccer ball down the fairways to a hole that's 21 inches in diameter as opposed to the golf hole, which is 6 inches in diameter. The same rules of golf apply to foot golf as they do to regular golf. Generally, play is in foursomes. Furthest from the hole plays first, and so on and so forth till the ball's in the hole.
I'm dressed for success. I'm up against a couple of very good players here today. So keep those cameras rolling. Don't leave your sports seats, fans. Man the battle stations. Welcome to Footgolf. As a sports guy that's not shy here at VI, I have to get involved in a lot of the sports shows. So today I'm going to put the challenge out to Paul and to Sean here that I can probably beat them at this sport, this foot golf. So what's going to happen is a public humiliation will take place later, as you'll see on our show. In the meantime, Paul, what are your feelings about challenging the Hurricane today in this sport?
To be honest, Ken, that outfit's a little offside. You look like Liberace meets Paul McCartney.
Challenge is on. Sean, you ready to challenge the Hurricane?
You know, Ken, most people run from a hurricane. Sean Tome doesn't run from a hurricane. He goes right into the eye of the storm. They're going to call me Sean the Tornado Tome when this is done.
Yeah!
Nice shot. No!
Yeah!
Anything could happen with this putt.
Ken, please. Let me take a shot.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Up!
What a great day today here for foot golf. Learned a lot, got a little bit muddy, got a little bit wet. Nice Scotch mist here, as always on Vancouver Island this time of year, but it really was fun. And you know what? It's perfect for this kind of weather. Your final thoughts on this, Sean? You were the champion on the day.
Well, I'd like to thank myself because I'm self-taught and I'm awesome.
Sean is awesome.
Isn't it time for your public humiliation?
Public humiliation.
So this is my public
public humiliation, okay? My public humiliation. I've been a bad little buffalo.
Hurricane, you never disappoint. Okay, here we go. That is a push pass. See, I'm starting to get a hang of this indoor field hockey. We've learned a hook curl, a Indian dribble, and a drag flick. I'm starting to learn the terminology. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Special thanks to Emily and Kristina of the Vikes women's field hockey team. That's our show. We're all wrapped up here. Remember to follow us on Twitter for videos, news, updates, and stay tuned for our GoPro close-up. Okay, hit me right here. Yes, drag flick up top. All right.
Hey, I'm Jacob Parrish, playing sledge hockey here at the Q Center, and this is my GoPro close-up.